Hey, Chris Lipe here. I have been looking for a long time for isolated vocals for Tool, the Pot, and it's been requested many, many times since I started doing these isolated vocal analyses. I have not been able to find or create an adequate Tool, the Pot, Maynard vocal that is fit for analyzing. So I'm going to take a risk here, and I didn't want to do like some live thing. I want to go to the studio recording, and I want to study his vocals. So if I'm not able to play very much here and there, it's because I'm trying to keep the video up and not have it be blocked. But let's do what we can here. Let's dive in. Let's see what happens. And let's analyze this incredible performance. I'm likely going to talk about and demonstrate a lot of things that if you're a singer or an aspiring singer, you're going to need to have a basic understanding of the fundamentals to relate to. If you'd like me to help you get the fundamentals of your voice down and learn how to feel out your voice, ask the right questions, try the right things, and do so without injury, all while maintaining a wonderful level of interest in your voice, click that link below and join my free voice course. That's the best place to start. There's a lot of other ways to work with me from there. But I look forward to helping you in a deeper way if you indeed want to dig in. All right, let's get into this.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have been out your head. I hold deep in muddy waters. You practically raised the dead.
Now this is thinner than we sometimes hear Maynard. Who are you to wave your finger? Where I'm playing with placement a little bit, figuring out what kind of tone he's using. He's not using a lot of air. He's not either in his pure head voice either. Who are you to wave your finger? Nor is it, who are you to wave your finger? Who are you to wave your finger? This is a quiet mix. This is kind of what I like to call the sing in your car quietly voice. You ever notice when you're kind of singing quietly and not caring and sort of humming, you can hit these notes that are thin and pure and effortless? That's kind of where he's at right now. It's really cool to hear him doing that.
Rob the grave to snow the cradle and burn the evidence down.
And burn the evidence down. Notice how he's still so calm and thin intentionally. It's just going to, I'm sure, create a huge contrast later. Not burn the evidence down. Burn the not head voice either. He's not burn the evidence down. It's very, very congruent and thin. Beautiful.
Soapbox house of cars and glass, so don't go tossing your stones around.
Stone. Ooh, experiment with that. He got really high there without exposing his vocal break and without getting too ferocious.
You must have been high. You must have been high. You must have been.
There's that transition. High. You must have been adding compression, lifting something heavy. Finding that you must have been. So same melody here, but he's in full chest, right? And there's some compression, there's some grit. Talking about, yeah. he's bringing that in, being able to moderate that and sing that note about. Quiet mix, your quiet humming in the car voice. Come about versus about, yeah.
Difficult to dance round this one till you pull it out.
No.
You must have been so high. You must have been so high. Still
So the cool thing, well, there's many cool things, but do you hear how he sort of starts with this whisper? There must have been, sighing out of that whisper. This is not just a whisper. This is not just, you must have been. It's a different way of using compression there, right? Having a handle on the multiple ways to use compression is what's allowing him to do all of this, right? You must have been. Experiment with airflow, holding back air, moving around pitches.
reversing your shady inference. Kangaroo done hung the jury with the innocent. Now your weeping shades are cruising in the cold elements you sip in your eye.
I'm just going to call this out for those of you who are watching for the first time. I am going to make noises and I'm going to experiment. That's part of the fun that I have doing this. It doesn't do anything for me if I just sit here and listen. So I have to make these noises, and hopefully they help you learn as I experiment with my voice, help you learn about your voice, because that's ultimately the reason I'm doing these. That run was incredible and I want to listen to it again. That's how he brightens up there. The eye darkens. Eye. The tonal variance there is just beautiful. The amount of compression he's applying. This isn't just I. Now, oftentimes, the more compression you add, there's a sweet spot. Sometimes compression can help you with vocal agility if you're adding the right amount. Sometimes if you're adding too much compression, it's harder to move around notes. He's found that sweet spot area with his voice here, where he can still have a little bit of grit, but it's not messing with his agility. In other words, he's not like trying to drag this compression ball and chain behind him so that he has enough beef to his voice. He's found a way for it to be an accessory to the line and still be agile, still be really free with it. Hear that huge sigh, that H? It's almost like there's this crack into head voice, very, very subtly. Creates more desperation there. Oh, that's golden. Listen to the difference in the way that he approached those two same notes, right? But he was on, who are you? He was up there and it was thinner, right? Who are you? Like it was in the first verse. Those vowels, it's harder to be up there and be thick, right? Who are you? You can totally do it. But I liked the way he brought us into that, right? It wasn't completely, but then in the next line, when he goes, I up there with a more broken, bright yeah versus yeah, yeah, yeah. Hear how he's using the vowels to create more dynamics? This isn't a crutch. This is leading you through a vocal journey, and there's nobody better than Maynard at doing that so subtly. I love how he closes his words. The innocence! The innocence! He spends a lot of time resonating with these closed, I'm really exaggerating it, but and he doesn't say innocence! Innocence! You hear his mouth kind of closing around things, and it creates this really neat nasality that's unique to him. Let's talk about that. Abandoning into that note. Here's the way that I approach that. And different people have different ways of doing this. Choose a note that's really high, and then push up to it until you break, and then lean into that break. No! There's my note. And then feel that sensation of your false chords taking over your note. This takes a lot of coordination. I can help more with this if you join my courses. Start with my free course. But if you're able to push up to it, start cracking, and then lean into that, and then you can remove the note and let your false chords take over. And then add more compression to make it less brutal sounding. Yeah! Now it's more consistent, right? Yeah! And change the way your mouth is shaped too. If you want like a more, Herculean sort of sound, or if you want a brighter sound, yeah! Versus yeah! Experiment with those sorts of things. But I get the picture of him kind of sliding up his range, and he's doing it very seamlessly, but it's this idea that you're sliding up your range and then abandoning into this scream instead of just like forcing it. That's why it sounds so free and cool. Mind trails off into that breathy compression, right? Where a loud, supported, compressed whisper, adding the note behind it, but he's coming off of mind. So many neat things that can happen with your voice when you experiment with those different textures. Go, Maynard. He did something really neat there that I want to call out. And he does this a lot. And I'm going to sing the line. And I'm going to say some more. He will come in and resonate or the closed mouth and sort of hum before the line comes in. And it's so golden. It is such an amazing, his voice just kind of, slithers in and then delivers its attack. He does this even when he's not trying to be sneaky. You listen to all these other Maynard songs, and there's this sense, there's these pre-lines or these pre-expressions. So cool. Same sort of control over that healthy balance of compression and closure and vowels, all these things working together. No! You hear how through the nose that was? No! Which is actually harder to do. It's like he's... This cat's gonna claw at you before he finishes. Notice how he's intentionally exploiting the different vowel opportunities there in the word high. High! And taking advantage of it almost in a rhythmic way. Whew, super cool. Nice run. So harnessing the power of the crow and letting it break apart on that pitch. This is sort of like what I talked about, abandoning into this grit. High! High! That's what he's doing, right? He starts with there's that crow thing that's happening. Highly nasal. You can hear it all over what he's doing, particularly here at the end. Thanks so much for watching and experimenting with me. Again, if you'd like more help with your own voice, click that link below and join my free course. Leave suggestions on other songs you'd like me to react to and analyze and experiment with. Thank you so much to everybody who requested this one. That's why this video got made. I hope I was able to leave more in than I was able to take out. We'll see you for more.